Good evening, Greg here, burning both ends, burning on the back end of Monday, July 2nd, 2018. It's 11:32 p.m. Pacific. So week is off to a great start. Great I-Core day, great HPD day. Really, and I think about this I-Core work, and I gotta say, I love the process. I love what we're going through. I love the people that we're meeting. Today we had a fantastic interview with Michael. Michael, thank you very much. I mean, it was incredible. So I found Michael. All right, so we had I'll tell you exactly how I found him. Right, so we had a wonderful interview last week with one of the gurus of the industry, specifically where we're looking to apply our technology. And of course, after the interview, connected with him on LinkedIn, and then when they offer LinkedIn, through their algorithms, offers me people to connect with, I get a bunch of people that he knows that connect us, right? And so this gentleman just showed up in this list, and I was going through and reading descriptions, and this is that thing where in that summary under their profile, you read that, and a lot of people will put stuff in there that really reveal that they're really open to folks contacting them and reaching out to them for help. And this guy definitely had a profile like that, on top of the fact that he was directly in this industry that I'm interested in. I didn't know how directly until we had the interview today. But the fact is, I connected with him. I sent the connection in that little dialogue box. I typed, my little 3-sentence thing that I type, like who I am, what I'm doing, who recommended I speak to him, so on and so forth. And then we had our interview today. But the cool thing was, he got right back to me, and so we engaged quickly. Right, he connected with me. He reached out to me. I had his email. We DM'd. It was fantastic. It was definitely the kind of guy that I just knew it was going to be a good interview, because he was so, forward and just connecting and proactive about it. Some of these people to get an interview, you really got to pull some teeth. It takes multiple touches before they'll even respond, and even then it's a little bit painful. But with this guy, it was just simple. And so we spoke today, and the amazing thing was the alignment that I had. So his profile spoke to, he was in our industry, but I didn't know how beautifully aligned he was. And we did, we do this thing where I talk about, hey, this is our technology, we're in this course. I say I'm going to keep the technology in my back pocket so we get some unbiased responses. But let's go around first, and let's just do like a 30-second intro on each of us, just so we know who's on the call. Because typically, there can be 3 people from my team, including me, plus this person. So there can be 4 people on the call, which is not a lot, but it's just good to know who's on the call, just so everyone knows who's speaking to whom, and what type of credentials are on the call, and what kind of technical understandings on the call, things like that. And so we go around, and I explain where we're looking, and I don't say anything about the technology except just kind of the title of it, of what it is. And we go around and we get to him, and the amount of synergies that came out of this gentleman's mouth, as far as aligning perfectly with where we're looking, and the depth of experience that this man has. I mean, it was just like, wow, this was a golden choice, and I got lucky. I will totally admit that, because that day I definitely connected, or tried to connect with, several different people, and he was one of maybe 10 or 12 that proactively got back, and here we are on the call, and it's amazing how much things are lining up. And so just hats off to Michael. Thank you very much. Excited to hear what he's got to say. I imagine that we're going to talk several times, and that is a good customer discovery interview, where a half an hour, 45 minutes is not nearly enough to hit all the alignment and all the support that we can give each other. And that's one of the things about these interviews, is that we're asking so much of these people, I have to admit. And the reason that they want to support us is because of, I have to admit, the purity of our goal. I mean, our goal really is to get this technology out in the industry to benefit industry. I mean, yeah, if we spin out a company and we make some money, that'd be great, but that's not even the highest priority. I mean, right now, because we're, at a minimum 3 years away from like seriously talking to a company about here's a piece of hardware to test. This is going to work in your device. You should definitely buy it from us, right? We're 3 years from that. We're at the proof of concept stage. And so what's really cool is I think that they see that, is that these folks that are so willing to help us, they see that and they want to pitch in, they want to just be part of the process. And what I really wish I had is I really wish I could do something for them in return. That's something that's really lacking. Of course, there's thank yous, there's follow-ups, there's appreciation, all that business. A lot of times I do say, hey, if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. I'd say 999 times out of 1,000, that question is not even responded to. But it's a genuine thing that I offer. There are some things I can do right. We all need help. But anyway, so Michael, thank you. Crushed it. Looking forward to hearing more. And number 2, right? So HPD, really, starting to get into that. We're going to get into integration in the middle of August. So we're prepping right now. Getting some parts in the shop. Want to get a lot of custom parts made for this integration. And so I've realized I got to put a little extra effort into this project. I got to kind of get on the backside of getting some drawings into the shop, getting some drawings released, getting some parts going, getting some metal cut. So tonight was definitely a night to review some drawings. This is the project that I asked for help on, and I'm getting that help. And actually, it's another Greg, which is kind of interesting. And this is the second Greg. This is someone, actually no, the third Greg. Now that I think about it, that I've interfaced with where I work. The first one didn't work out so well. That's a whole different story. I'll tell that one day. The second one was awesome. He was a French intern, and he's the one that introduced me to Peter, who I met in New York City, who has the nonprofit widget that I'm so excited about, which I'll talk about in a second. And then this is the third Greg, and he does have a French last name, or so it seems. But this third Greg, he's doing a great job on these drawings. Really, I couldn't have asked for a better person to step in. He's chilled out. He's banging these things out. We've released 5 already. We have 3 more to go, and it was those 3 that I was looking at tonight. So we should release them hopefully by Thursday, right? We're off on Wednesday, so by Thursday I'd like to have those released in the shop by Friday. But this is something that I find is really critical in doing any kind of custom part, is getting into a conversation with the fabricators as early as possible. And so I've been talking with our machine shop about these parts for months now. Not ongoing for months, but it was several months ago that I began talking about it, and then a couple points, maybe 3 or 4 conversations in about 4 months, just to ask questions, make sure of some tolerancing, make sure of some material availability. And then there was a bit of a process, right? We're going to do some assembly level machining on these parts, and I just wanted to make sure that everything I was asking for was reasonable and that they could do it. And if they had any suggestions on how to do it better, I wanted to hear about it. And actually, it was them that came up with this, machine it as an assembly process. So really appreciate that. And this is what I find is critical about being a good engineer is talking to folks and finding the best idea, not just my idea. A lot of the times my idea is rather limited, and it's the best idea that I'm looking for. And not that I can always talk to 100 people on every little piece of the project, but I find on some of these things, reaching out to several folks, and then you start learning who the folks are to hit the different problems. And so I've gotten to a point now where I work where this specific part or set of parts, I knew who to talk to about it, and they had some great advice, and I'm using that advice. It's in the drawing. So, and this is critical because that way when the part finally shows up or the drawing finally shows up to the shop, and they see it and they go, oh, cool, he listened to us. That's great. that's going to be so much easier, because we're doing it the way that the shop is set up to do it, as opposed to some other way that I'm asking for that might be, a little bit challenging for them. So I find that to be critical. So I have been talking to them, and so since we're going to be releasing drawings on Thursday, I'm going to be calling them tomorrow. I'm going to see if they can order some stock for me already, because it's a big part. Get that going, and then the order shows up on Thursday, and then they hit it, and the stock's already ordered. So we'll see how that goes, because I got a pretty tight deadline. I think they have plenty of time to make the part, and they have over a month, which is usually pretty okay. It's not such a complicated part, but it is a lot of machining. So we'll see. A lot of holes, a lot of light weighting involved. So we'll see. So yeah, extra effort on HBD, and this is also linked to the other project manager opportunity that's come my way that I'm very excited about. So I just want to make sure that this HBD integration goes off without a hitch, and that we just crush it. And so on top of that, today we had the survey and alignment folks, the folks that essentially use laser trackers and other types of measuring machines to ensure alignment of equipment. And this is an art and a science, and it's a lot of nuances and a lot of important details to get into the heads of the folks that do the work, because I don't do that specific work. There's a group that does it, and it's my job to make sure that they understand what they're signing up for. And so today we did a walkthrough of the facility, so that way they can see lines of sight, because they got to set up these laser trackers, and they got to be able to see targets, and they have to shoot targets as to what we're aligning with, then time to the room targets, and they might have to add room targets, and so all these little details. But it's the kind of thing that if we can do some prep and get some things in place before it's go time, then we're in really good shape. If it's go time and now we gotta add a couple things here and there, all of a sudden the day we spend the day prepping, that's not where we want to be. We want to be hitting the ground running day one, shooting targets, because we have over a month now to prep. So let's use that month. And so and this is like this project management, because I am managing it's a very small project, but I am managing this HBD project. I mean, it is really about being of service. That's really what it's all about. It's about being of service, enabling the team to perform. That's my job, right? Get the information out, make sure everyone's communicating, make sure that people's time can be applied, right? That resources are freed up to work on this thing, because that's also something that happens, is that where I work, there's a lot of operational duties that come up. Something breaks, we got to fix it, and that can create a bit of like a fire alarm type environment, where some of the key people can just be constantly pulled in the directions of fighting these fires. And if they're always doing that, then the projects that are kind of in the background trying to hum along suffer. And this is our big problem, I have to say. And so how do we address this problem? And there's only really one way to do it, because a lot of this work that we do, it's so custom, it's so one-of-a-kind, one-off type work. It's hard to really estimate how much time sometimes. Sometimes you can say, it takes a week and it takes 2 weeks. Sometimes you say it takes a week and it takes a day, right? You never know what might just drop right into place. Or it's almost like you bought a house, and you're going to remodel a room, and you pull off the drywall, and then you see, it's like, what do you see, right? Do you see some nice 2x4s that are there, and some nice insulation and nice wiring, and everything looks good, and you can tell it was done by professionals, and you can just put up new drywall or do what you got to do and put up new drywall? Or do you pull it away and you see a bunch of rotting wood, you see some really crummy electrical work that is going to be a problem, right? In 5 years, and now you got to redo that. Or you see an infestation of, I don't know, cockroaches or rats, or so it's like this thing that could have taken maybe a Sunday afternoon. Now you're in week 3 because you had to exterminate, you had to replace rotting wood. Yeah, it really is that kind of work. And so And so, just having the ability to free up resources, to do this work is critical. And so that's my job. My job is to, enable communication to communicate the points that I hear, communicate the resources needed, create meetings, enable people to get together, capture actions, things like that. So that's HBD. And then I'll just jump onto this nonprofit widget. So I'm doing a lot of prep work for the widget, even though it's very light right now, because I really want to put a lot of time into iCore, because that does come to an end at the end of the month here. And so I am very lightly pushing this one, but once iCore ends, then the focus on the nonprofit widget definitely goes up. I do want to get my Instagram going for Burn at Both Ends. And I also have aspirations to finish this second drum album that G Money, my alter ego, is working on right now. Well, not really working on. Well, no, I am. I listen to it almost every day on the way to work. And I'm slowly writing lyrics to a few songs. And I'm also, every time I hear it, I'm constantly critiquing and making mental notes. So, but I do want to start pushing on those songs, and at least maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks spend an evening just working on some songs, because I realize how big of a piece of me that is, that music part. So, and that creative part, very important. And I also think it would just be great to have a second album come out by the end of the year, and just a really nice accomplishment. And I have to admit, I've been looking for people writing similar type of music to what I'm writing in just drums, and I'm not finding it anywhere. A lot of people write beats, but they're very, very hip-hoppy, and I find that they fall in a very similar category. They're good. I enjoy them, but it's not what I'm doing specifically. And so I do think I have a unique thing going there. Now maybe it's just for drummers to hear, and it's not really for non-drumming folks. I'm open to that, but at the same time, I really enjoy what it does, and I have to admit, I really enjoy listening to them. I still listen to the first album. I'm working on the second album, so I have a lot of the demo tracks in a mix on my phone, and so I rock that on the way to work and really enjoy that. So, and then the last piece here, just on the nonprofit widget. So yeah, research. I'm working on my pitch angle. I really want to learn. So the company's based in New York City. I want to know what they're doing from a marketing standpoint, and how much of that can I leverage. Are we going to open up any social? Are we going to open up any Instagram, podcasts? Are we going to start doing any of that? Because I'm definitely I'm really seeing this opportunity with the widget to be like a Gary V influenced opportunity. I really want to leverage a lot of the wisdom that he deploys, that he, a lot of the content that he puts out. I really see that showing up in this opportunity, and I think that's a great way for me to leverage that in a part-time status, right? I'm not going to be hitting the pavement, going door to door, knocking on doors, pressing flesh too much. I'm going to try to do that as much as I can, but obviously with a 9 to 5, I can't, I'm limited. But, I have after hours, I have the internet, right? So there are platforms I can work on, and I really see this as a Gary V influenced opportunity, which is what really makes it so exciting for me. And also, I really believe in what this guy's doing. I think Peter's got a great product. He really showed it to me. He compared, actually, a very good friend of mine who has a nonprofit. He showed me this friend site and said, here, look, click on donate and you see what happens. And he's like, now come to this site, click on donate and see the difference. And it really is night and day, I have to admit. It's really phenomenal what Peter has put together. And so I really do believe in it. And I'm excited to work on his project. And the last piece, I have to say, I bought this tablet. This is a Samsung 8 or something. Tab 8 is a small one. I really dig it. Like this little case. The case has little feet on it, not little feet, but little things, so that way you can stand it up. Pretty slick. Came with this neat pen. Like the pen. The Google handwriting app is really nice. That kind of almost like a plugin, right? Anywhere you type, you can actually just write and it recognizes handwriting. Adobe has a really cool, what's the Adobe app called that I got on this thing here? Gotta put my code in here. What's the Adobe app? Adobe Sketch, really cool. Digging it, because I wanted something where I could, do sketches and like take hand notes, not just typewritten notes. So starting to work with that. But probably the biggest use of this thing is I use it to join. We have the G Suite at work, and so 9 out of 10 calls that we have for these customer discovery interviews are Google Hangouts, and so this is great for joining a Google Hangout. Wherever I am, I have Wi-Fi. Boom, I'm in the call. And it works just as good with the headset in or just talking right at the tablet. So I really like that flexibility. The phone I find can work. I mean, of course the phone can work, but the phone's a little bit clumsy sometimes, especially if I want to engage on the video, and everyone's on video and so am I. I mean, sometimes the phone is a little clumsy with the video, but this is just fantastic. So I'm really glad that I invested in that, and I'm starting to get some good use out of it. And I'm also finding that it really, getting this size was a good size. I didn't want something as big as my laptop, because now it's like, well, why do I have the laptop? And I started bringing this to work instead of my laptop. So that has replaced my laptop in a lot of senses. And I can do almost everything I need to do on that, because my laptop's a Chromebook. And the Chromebook's a bit limited because you really can't print unless you have a special printer, which I don't have. Or it prints through another computer, which kind of defeats the purpose. But I find that this has replaced the Chromebook on a lot of levels, and I dig that, and it's really fast. So, really thrilled with this purchase. I have to say, I'm actually using it, and this is how I roll with technology. If this thing was not useful, it'd be a doorstop by now. Oh, I'd probably return it, but I do not waste time if something seems to be not very useful, and I give it a good shot, right? There's no doubt about that. So anyway, I think we're pretty good there. I think we're doing the success journal is still crushing it. I have to admit, I'm really enjoying it. Keep me on top of my major tasks and the minor tasks, right? The things that I only need to spin once a week or once every 2 weeks. So really thrilled about that. And that's about it. So this channel is all about my journey as an aspiring entrepreneur. I'm really enjoying this journey. I have to admit, I'm enjoying the burn at both ends lifestyle. Staying up late, getting up early. I really feel empowered. My self-confidence is like way high. And just back to the iCore thing, the little note that I'm realizing I could do that for a living, and I would love to figure out how I could do this customer discovery process and help folks do it for a living. And so what I'm thinking is knocking on the doors of accelerators in the area and seeing if they would pay someone to do that kind of work. And I've done a little bit of customer discovery on that, and what I'm finding is that the investors like the founders to do that. That's almost like a founder rite of passage, and so they're hesitant. I mean, so for example, they would not be happy with founders outsourcing that work, but what I can imagine there being value in is them bringing on someone to organize that work. So the founders are still executing, but someone like me comes in and organizes it and motivates and pushes and prods and schedules and helps with the business model canvas and the analysis piece. So could be something there. I don't know. I just know I really enjoy this work. It's a lot of fun for me. It's very challenging, and I get a lot of fulfillment out of it. So very cool. So so this channel is all about my journey. So the things I'm doing, things that are bringing me success, the failures, the struggles, the challenges, and I have to say now I've put my addictions to the side. I've mentioned that a couple times, last couple posts, and really feel empowered by that. That self-control really just it's hard to describe how powerful that is, and why I can be weak sometimes and go back to them. It's interesting. I mean, I feel so good from from this, putting this away. And I don't know, it's just, I'd love to know more about why that is. And maybe it's just so simple, and it's just about making these choices and being empowered. So anyway, subscribe. Would love for you to come along on this journey. I'd love to hear about your journey. Right, I want to be of service. That's a big piece of this channel. I'd love to be of service. So please ask questions, comment down below. Give me some problems to solve. Would love to help out wherever I could. Just to give back, because I know I've been given so much, and I feel really lucky, and that's a big piece of why I am where I am right now. Really lucky. Can't really complain about anything. I have to admit, just anything that even remotely feels like a complaint is such like a first world problem that I have. Like my tablet not being so great. I mean, oh my gosh, wow, so horrible. So many folks in the world have so much more to deal with than I do. So I just feel lucky to be where I am, to be focusing on what I'm focusing on, to have the family, to have my healthy kids, my healthy wife, this wonderful home. The work I do I'm so lucky. I'm so full of gratitude, and I'm leveraging that to do better things in the world and to be of service. So that's where I'm at. So anyway, check out the links in the description. I got some motivational websites, some people that have inspired me this year. I've got some really great music down there that I'm into. This psychedelic ambient and other kind of like tribal ambient or tribal beat. I'm not even sure what you call it, but just stuff I dig. And of course, the beat in the background is Fela Kuti inspired Afrobeat that I wrote. G Money's my alter ego. I've been drumming for a few decades. I write these drum songs. Check them out on SoundCloud. Like I said, we're working on the second album right now. I'd like to put that out by the end of the year. And that's going to be a hard goal of mine. And so that's it. That's it for tonight. So in my mind, of course, I was thinking of a short post, and here we are, 27 minutes in. But I find that these posts are really therapeutic for me. It's good to get this stuff out and like talk it through, because even though not many people right now are listening, and of course there's no active listening as I'm doing this, but it's really good for me to hear it. And I was thinking about this the other day. So I think I have right now 33 subscribers or something like that. But that's not a big deal, right? A real important, one of the main reasons for this channel is it's for my daughters, right? This is my legacy. This is what I'm leaving behind. I want them to see how hard their dad worked, and the things that he did to bring this, success to the family. And so this is really, for them. And so the subscriber thing is almost, it's important, but it's not important. It's a cool indicator or a benchmark, but at the same time, when they get to be teens and they start watching these videos and they see their dad, I think it's going to be kind of cool at that point. And also, I'm playing the infinite game. So in the infinite game, I have 100 million subscribers. And so I'm just in between 0 and 100 million right now. So that's the way I see it. And the only way to fail is to stop. That's also the way I see it. And since I control this game, this burn at both ends game, I can do, these posts will change just like they did. They started, in one format during iCore. They changed. They're a lot different now. They will change again. Maybe they'll move to other platforms and they won't be on YouTube all the time. I don't know. We will see. But that's, the challenge to me is to keep it going and to keep it fresh and to keep it fun and to keep it, inspirational. That's the challenge for me. So I am up to that challenge, and a lot of ideas in my head. And right now I'm just building the foundation. I'm just, this is even pre-foundation. This is like I'm getting the bedrock ready, or getting the ground ready for the foundation. So excited for it. Playing the patient game, persistent game, not in a hurry. So I will be quiet now, because if I just keep going, we'll we'll just burn into the next day, which we already have. It's 12:02. So anyway, I will wrap there. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you staying in, till the end here. Get some rest. Get some good sleep. Wake up tomorrow. Inspire folks. Do great things. And I will see you in the morning.